So guys, this week we're talking about Thailand. It's one of our favorite places in the world to travel to. It's got amazing food, amazing people, amazing sights, and it's also one of the easiest places to travel to if you're new to traveling or you just really love adventure.
So we're just going to share some tips with you if you're planning your trip to Thailand. So let's get into it.
Okay, so the first one is about getting your hands on some cash when you land in Thailand.
Yeah. So we generally withdraw cash from the ATM at the airport. It does come with an ATM fee. So we do withdraw the max amount that we require for the trip so that we save in the long run.
The fee that you pay is a withdrawal fee, which can be quite substantial. So it doesn't make sense to withdraw a small amount. So try and withdraw the maximum amount so the fee doesn't feel like you're being ripped off. They will prompt you when you're withdrawing for them to do the conversion or for your bank to do the conversion when the transaction goes through. It's best not to accept their conversion because that conversion could usually be fairly high. So just allow your bank to do the conversion when the transaction goes through on your side.
You can also use the money exchange counters at the airport. There's loads of them on every floor and around every corner as well.
Probably best to shop around for the rate. What you'll find is the guys that are like in the closest vicinity of you arriving would have the higher rates. So it makes sense to kind of make your way through the airport and shop around see where you can get the best rates. So another option would be to wait till you get into the city or into the main metropolitan area to withdraw your cash or go to a currency exchange. But that's up to you if you want to take that risk without having any cash with you while you're traveling.
Another tip as well is don't forget to inform your bank that you will be traveling and which cards you plan to use so that they are aware it isn't a fraudulent transaction in whichever country you are traveling to.
And they don't block your cards while you're away. Another safety tip that we use on all our trips is we use either the global card from FNB or the Shift card from Standard Bank. Those are basically foreign currency cards where you can load different currencies onto them and transact with them when you're overseas. The nice thing about that is they act like wallets. So you can activate them, turn them on, turn them off. It's quite safe from that perspective. And when you're using those cards at the ATM, the fees are a little bit lower than your normal debit card or credit card.
Tip number two is how to obtain an eSIM or a local SIM card.
Go to any of the local telco providers in the airport, to any of their desks and purchase a SIM card over the counter. Or you can do what we did in this last trip, which is install eSIMs on our phones. That automatically gives us access to the internet and data as soon as you land. You can use services like Airlo, but we use a service called Klook, which is a very helpful travel app that you can purchase eSIMs on, you can purchase airport transfers, book tours, all sorts of stuff. So I'd advise you to check out Klook.
That's Klook. As a backup, I also activated roaming on my phone. Just in case of an emergency, we had access to data.
Okay, so how do you get from the airport to your hotel? There's a number of ways, including taxis and taking the train, etc., etc. But I think the most convenient way is to use a service like the e-hailing services. They have Grab and Bolt, which are two apps you should download also onto your phone. Bolt, we're all familiar with Bolt in South Africa. So the same account that I have in South Africa actually just worked when we arrived there. And that's why it's also convenient to have an eSIM already with data or load your data at the airport.
And for your shorter distances, there's the tuk-tuk or the scooters. If you are taking a scooter, make sure you wear a helmet. Speaking of tuk-tuks, try and avoid this common scam where the tuk-tuk driver offers you a free trip somewhere, and sometimes they take you to places that are going to charge you high prices or an exorbitant amount as well. So rather book your tours through the official sites. And if something's too good to be true, it probably is.
Thailand is a pretty safe place overall. There are a few people that would try to scam you here and there, especially if they see you're a tourist. We got scammed with a Bolt driver. The whole thing was very suspicious.
It was suspicious from the beginning. So we knew we were being scammed, but also we just wanted to get to our destination.
Essentially, the person that we were looking for, the car didn't match the description on the Bolt app.
The driver also seemed quite confused.
And ended up cancelling the ride and then expecting us to pay the trip in cash. The thing is, we ended up paying more for the trip in cash. We were charged for the toll fee, which we didn't go through a toll.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we were also charged a cancellation fee on the Bolt app. That's just something to pay attention to, that if that happens, maybe just immediately say you're not going to cancel the trip or you're not going to take the ride.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting around in Thailand is quite convenient, especially in Bangkok, for example. There's taxis, tuk-tuk, scooters, but what we found to be the most convenient and most economical was the subway system called the BTS and the MRT system, which was very, very convenient because it takes you to all the sort of popular areas. It was very easy to understand where to go, and you either can buy your prepaid card with X amount of value on it, or you can just buy your tickets every time you travel. It's fairly simple, extremely safe, and they run till 10 in the night.
And they were quite affordable also.
One caveat to taking the BTS or the MRT is just look at what the fare price is compared to taking a Bolt or a Grab. Because in some instances, if you're traveling quite a long distance on the train, it might be cheaper and faster to take a Bolt and a Grab.
Yeah, we were 3 in the family, so if you added up the MRT tickets, it actually ended up being more than what we would pay for the Grab or the Bolt.
Yeah. Okay, and then Trey really loves this tip because speaking of traveling on the trains, one helpful tip would be
always carry a scarf or a shawl or a light jacket. It is freezing in the MRT, absolutely freezing, and the malls as well. It's extremely cold.
You're going from 34 degree
Blazing
heat
hot
outside to sort of 10 to 16 degree air conditioned spaces.
We came across some temples that we were not planning to see. So if you have a scarf or a shawl or a jacket, you can at least follow the Thai custom, cover yourself as well.
And then the other tip was carry an umbrella.
Yeah, not only for the rain, it really helps when you are walking
in the sun.
The sun is beating down on you. I use my umbrella almost every day.
Some travel essential apps we think you should have on your phone are definitely, we already spoke about Bolt and Grab, which are the e-hailing apps, Google Maps. So one option is to either download offline maps of the areas you're going to be in.
We did that. It worked really well.
That works really well, especially if you don't have access to data. Another version of that is Maps.me app, which is basically an offline maps app. Then we spoke about Klook, which is quite helpful for things like airport transfers, tours, and all kinds of specials and deals that if you don't have time to research, you can just book things directly on the app. Then Google Translate app. Now in Thailand, you can probably get away in the cities quite easily with English. You don't really need to translate much, but we found that the Google Translate app was very, very helpful.
Yeah, I wanted to buy some beauty products, and obviously it's in Thai, so it helped to translate what the product is for, whether it's for pigmentation or whatever it is. So it really helped. It was a quick reference.
Just take a photo and then it converts it into English for you. And then the other app that we found quite useful was the XE app, which is a currency exchange app. And essentially all it does is it converts whatever currency you're looking at into, in our case, South African rands. Okay, so let's talk about food in Thailand. It's obviously our favorite subject. You're going to be wanting to try a lot of the Thai dishes while you're there, and there's a lot to try.
There is.
So our top tip for wanting to try a lot of dishes and not breaking the bank is going to food courts. You'll find one practically in every mall or shopping center.
Some of our favorite food courts were in Terminal 21, Icon Siam, and MBK.
Commonly referred to as blood noodles. That is one of the best things I've had so far.
BK is also the place where you get all the famous knockoffs.
And if you want to try the local dishes, if you're looking for high quality and high standards, food courts are the way to go.
And it's extremely affordable. Thailand is also known for its Michelin guide restaurants, and the tie-in with food courts is a lot of those Michelin guide restaurants are found in a lot of those food courts.
Okay, we hit the mother load for Michelin guide restaurant.
We did.
In this food court in the Siam Paragon. We got chicken khao soi, we got chicken fried rice, and we got chip samai, which
Pad Thai wrapped in
pad thai wrapped in an omelette.
Yeah.
It was spicy, it was delicious.
So that's like an added bonus of getting a meal that's of a very high quality, that tastes amazing and is a bit more affordable.
Thailand is also known for the most amazing markets. A chicken skin. That is so bloody good.
It's good. We've come to the Jodhfair's market.
So good. I thoroughly enjoyed visiting the day markets and the night markets. Favorite was definitely Charachup. It's only open on
the weekends.
Basically, you need the whole day to walk through that market.
Yeah, to give you context, I think there's about 26,000 stalls.
So if you're wondering how big the market is, that's the whole of Chatuchak market.
I don't think we even got through 50.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive. So I would give yourself a day or 2 days to explore the entire market.
At these markets, a lot of the vendors do accept card payment, but a lot of them are also cash only. So make sure that you do
Have some cash on hand.
some cash on hand. And obviously with Thailand, there is the urge to haggle. I personally will pay what I think is fair. I think if you're going to haggle, I think do it in a respectful way. The Thai people are very soft and very respectful. When you're haggling, to respect them as well.
Yeah, I think you'll also know if you're getting ripped off.
Yeah.
We found, pricing quite obvious when we were being ripped off. And then you can just walk away from that situation. But overall, I think most of the places were pretty fair.
Yeah.
And you didn't need to haggle a lot of the time with them.
7-Eleven.
Convenience stores. This is another great option, especially if you're on a budget or you just need a quick snack. 7-Elevens was one of our favorite places to visit. The other option was Family Mart, I think it was called, but 7-Eleven was definitely our favorite. Every day we were just tempted to try something.
Yeah, there was some really amazing stuff.
So we're going to try this ham and cheese croissant toasty and this tuna salmon. They're going to toast it for us. And we're also getting some onigiri. And Tracy's got a whole lot of other goodies in there.
Also, I think it's close to almost every hotel around the corners.
The famous things were the cheese and ham toasties, waters and energy drinks, iced teas.
The most amazing little till bun with a little sausage inside.
Onigiri, which are those triangular sushi things. Those were amazing.
I was getting some snacks from 7-Eleven.
Can please with some chocolates. Have a barbecue pork bun. Have a ham and cheese sandwich and Milo.
I can see why people like it. So this is what the pork fried rice looks like.
It tastes a little bit better than the ones we have at home. Okay, I'll take this back again.
Okay, so what's the best times and the worst times of the year to travel to Thailand? So the best time is November to February because that's typically the cooler and drier times of the year. June to October is actually their monsoon season and those are the summer months. So that's when you want to try and avoid the intense heat and the rain. You can also travel during the shoulder seasons, which is March to May and September to October. This is a nice option if you're trying to avoid crowds and lots of tourists, but it does come with some rain or some intense heat. So you're going to have to just figure that one out.
And yeah, be prepared for it, because the Thai heat is something else.
It's crazy hot.
The weather heat and the food heat.
Wow, it is so hot. At least it'll be cooler in the MRT station. If you're debating getting a Thai tea, get it. It is so hot.
Okay, so that's a wrap on all our tips for your next trip to Thailand. I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, leave us a comment if you would like to know anything else.
A lot of the tips and apps and things like that we spoke about also applies to other places in Southeast Asia like Singapore and Malaysia. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
The same thing, blah, 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 blah. What was I going to say? Oh. So if you're wanting to try a hello... Hardy does.
Okay, let me restart. You're not really going to have the best experience in Thailand.
I'm going to have to say that again.
Telling me to keep quiet.